50 Cent and T.I. has reached a point where the drama is no longer just about music. What started as a challenge for a simple rap battle has now turned into a serious public fight involving family members, social media attacks, diss tracks, and even the threat of a documentary that could damage reputations forever. The most surprising part of this situation is that King Harris has now stepped into the middle of the conflict, trying to defend his family while also realizing that the situation might be going too far. Everything goes back to a moment during the pandemic when online music battles were extremely popular. Artists across the industry were joining the wave created by Verses, where legendary rappers and singers would compete by playing their biggest songs. At that time, T.I. believed he had the perfect opponent in mind. He wanted to face 50 Cent in one of these battles. From his perspective, the match would make sense because both artists had huge catalogs and strong fan bases. T.I. began mentioning the idea publicly. He posted about it online and even used interviews to call out 50 Cent directly. At one point, he even wished 50 Cent a happy birthday on social media, while also challenging him to bring 20 songs to the stage and battle it out. For fans watching from the outside, it seemed like a fun competition that could easily become one of the biggest moments in hip-hop. But the reaction from 50 Cent was very different. Instead of showing interest, he mostly ignored the challenge. When he did respond, he suggested that the whole Versus format made sense during the lockdown, when people were stuck at home, but once life returned to normal, he did not see the point anymore. That response shut down the conversation for a while. The challenge faded into the background, and both artists continued focusing on their own careers. For several years, nothing major happened between them. The tension existed, but it stayed quiet. Then suddenly, the topic came back to life. T.I. started speaking about the battle again during interviews and podcast appearances. One of the moments that caught attention happened during an episode of a podcast hosted by former football star Shannon Sharpe and fellow host Chad Johnson. During that conversation, T.I. explained his side of the story and repeated the claim that 50 Cent never wanted to accept the challenge. The clip spread across social media quickly. Within hours, fans everywhere were sharing the video and debating who would win if the battle actually happened. But instead of turning into a friendly competition, the situation moved in a completely different direction. When 50 Cent finally reacted, he did not talk about music at all. Instead, he posted a clip from an old crime prevention advertisement that featured T.I. speaking about helping police catch criminals. The message behind the post was clear. By sharing that clip, 50 Cent was suggesting that T.I. had cooperated with authorities in the past. In hip-hop culture, accusations like that are extremely serious. That single post completely changed the tone of the situation. What had started as a conversation about music suddenly became personal. T.I. responded immediately and made it clear that he felt disrespected. He fired back with his own comments online, accusing 50 Cent of spreading false claims and demanding that he either step into a music battle or stop mentioning his name. At that moment, the conflict became bigger than just the two rappers. The argument started spreading across social media, with fans choosing sides and sharing opinions. And then the situation took another dramatic turn when family members became involved. The first major moment happened when 50 Cent posted an unflattering picture of T.I.'s wife, Tiny Harris. The image quickly went viral because many people felt it crossed a line. Posting about someone's family is often seen as a step too far in hip-hop disputes. When King Harris saw the post about his mother, he reacted immediately. As the son of two famous celebrities, he has grown up in the public eye. He has also been very active on social media, and he is known for speaking his mind without holding back. This time was no different. King began posting messages defending his mother, and criticizing 50 Cent. His posts referenced several controversies from 50 Cent's past. The messages quickly gained attention, and fans began watching closely to see how the situation would develop. Then things escalated even further. King Harris went live on social media and launched into an angry rant about the situation. During that rant, he said things that shocked many people watching. One of the most controversial moments happened when he mentioned 50 Cent's late mother, Sabrina Jackson. For many fans, bringing a deceased parent into a public argument crossed a serious boundary. The controversy grew even bigger when King later appeared wearing a shirt that featured the face of Sabrina Jackson. The image spread across the internet quickly, and reactions were intense. Even T.I. himself later admitted that this moment went too far. In interviews, he explained that he understood why his son wanted to defend the family, but he also believed certain lines should never be crossed. While all of this drama was unfolding online, the Harris family also began responding through music. T.I. released several diss tracks aimed at 50 Cent. These songs included sharp lyrics accusing him of being tough only on social media while avoiding real competition in the studio. King Harris also joined the musical side of the conflict by releasing his own diss track. T.I.'s other son, Damani Harris, added another track as well. Suddenly, there were multiple songs targeting 50 Cent within a short period of time. Despite all these attacks, 50 Cent chose not to respond with a diss track of his own. Instead, he continued doing what he has often done during controversies. He used social media to troll his opponents. He posted memes, jokes, and short messages that kept the conversation alive without stepping into a musical battle. For a while, it seemed like the argument might slowly fade away, but then a completely new twist appeared. King Harris posted documents online that he claimed were connected to an old federal investigation. According to his posts, the documents suggested that 50 Cent had once spoken with investigators during a serious case. Those posts spread extremely fast across the internet. Some people believed the documents were real, while others questioned their authenticity. Regardless of whether the claims were accurate, the impact on the public conversation was immediate. Now the narrative had flipped. At first, 50 Cent had accused T.I. of cooperating with authorities. Now, King Harris was presenting information that appeared to accuse 50 Cent of the same thing. The argument had become a full-scale war of accusations. At this point, the entire hip-hop community was paying attention. Bloggers, radio hosts, and fans were discussing the situation daily. Every new post from either side created another wave of reactions. But the biggest escalation had not even happened yet. Instead of continuing the fight through music or social media, 50 Cent made a move that surprised many people. He hinted that he was working on a documentary project about T.I. and Tiny Harris. According to the posts he shared online, the documentary would examine past allegations involving the couple. The title he suggested for the project immediately caught attention. The name sounded similar to famous documentary series that focused on exposing controversial figures. The implication was clear. If the project became real, it could bring old allegations back into the spotlight. This possibility created serious concern for the Harris family. Even though many legal cases connected to those accusations had already been dismissed, a documentary could still bring enormous public attention to the topic again. For 50 Cent, the move made sense from a strategic point of view. In recent years, he has become one of the most powerful producers in television. His shows have gained massive audiences, and he has worked with major networks and streaming platforms. Because of that background, people knew he had the ability to create a project like the one he was hinting at. That is why the announcement felt like a serious threat, rather than just another joke. When T.I. was asked about the situation during interviews, his response showed confidence. He explained that he was not afraid of the documentary idea. In fact, he challenged 50 Cent to continue if he really wanted to. According to T.I., the situation could be handled in several ways. They could battle with music, they could continue arguing publicly, or they could each create their own documentaries. His message was simple. He was not backing down. At the same time, he also made it clear that he had spoken to his son about the situation. He explained that he told King Harris to slow down and avoid taking the conflict further than necessary. For T.I., the most important issue was protecting his family while also preventing the drama from spiraling out of control. Meanwhile, the music side of his career was still moving forward. Around the same time as the controversy, T.I. released a new song that quickly climbed the charts. The track became one of the biggest hits at urban radio stations and helped re-cement his position in the industry. Promote his upcoming album. That album is expected to be his final major project, which makes the timing of this controversy even more dramatic. What was supposed to be a celebration of his career has now become connected to one of the biggest feuds in recent hip-hop history. As the situation continues developing, many people are wondering what will happen next. Will the documentary actually be produced, or was the announcement simply another example of 50 Cent using social media to provoke a reaction? Another question involves King Harris himself. After weeks of aggressive posts and music releases, his activity online has slowed down. Some fans believe this change shows that he is trying to step away from the conflict. Others think the family may be focusing on protecting their image, while waiting to see if the documentary project becomes real. Right now, the entire industry is watching closely. This conflict has already involved music, family members, social media battles, and serious accusations. If the documentary becomes reality, the situation could move from internet drama to something much bigger. Streaming platforms reach millions of viewers around the world. A documentary released on one of those platforms could bring attention to the controversy for years. For now, the story remains unfinished. The battle that started with a simple challenge for a music competition has turned into a complicated feud involving reputation, family loyalty, and media power. And until one side decides to walk away, the drama between 50 Cent, T.I., and King Harris may continue growing in ways no one expected when the first challenge was made. The tension between 50 Cent and T.I. did not slow down after that moment. In fact, things only became more complicated. The entire hip-hop community started watching every move both sides made online. Fans, bloggers, and even other rappers began sharing clips, posts, and rumors. What started as a challenge for a music battle slowly turned into something much bigger than anyone expected. At the center of the situation was King Harris, the son of T.I. The young rapper had already jumped deep into the fight. He defended his mother, he released diss tracks, and he posted documents online. For a while, it looked like he was ready to keep pushing the conflict no matter what happened. But once the documentary threat started spreading across the internet, people noticed something different. The loud responses started to slow down. The reason for that shift was simple. A rap diss track can cause drama for a few days, maybe a few weeks, but a documentary is different. A documentary can live online forever. It can be watched by millions of people who may not even follow hip-hop. That is why the idea of a project called Surviving T.I. and Tiny started to make people nervous around the Harris family. The rumors about the documentary came after a post from 50 Cent. Even though the post was later deleted, the screenshot had already spread everywhere. Once something like that appears online, it never fully disappears. Blogs, music pages, and YouTube channels all began talking about it. Many people started asking the same question. Was 50 Cent really planning to release a full documentary about T.I. and his wife? For people who follow hip-hop closely, the idea did not sound impossible. Over the last few years, 50 Cent has built a strong reputation in the television world. He has worked on major shows and projects that have reached huge audiences. Because of that success, fans know he has the power to produce something serious if he wants to. That is why the comparison he made to the documentary about Sean Diddy Combs caught everyone's attention. When that project came out, it created massive headlines across the music world. Many people believe it played a role in changing public opinion about Diddy. So when 50 Cent hinted that he might do something similar about T.I., it sounded like a serious threat. Meanwhile, T.I. continued to promote his upcoming album, Kill the King. This album is important because he has said it will likely be his final album before stepping away from music. For many fans, that made the moment feel like the end of an era. T.I. has been one of the biggest names in Southern hip-hop for years, so his retirement project already had a lot of attention around it. But the beef with 50 Cent suddenly became part of the conversation around the album. Every interview started including questions about the feud. Every new song release was being viewed through the lens of the drama. In some ways, the conflict actually kept T.I. in the spotlight during his promotional run. Even with all that attention, T.I. still tried to make it clear that he did not fully support how far things had gone with his son. In several interviews, he explained that he understood why King Harris defended the family, but he also believed the situation crossed a line when the T-shirt with 50 Cent's late mother appeared online. That moment stood out for many fans. In hip-hop, people expect tough words and harsh diss tracks, but family, especially someone who has passed away, is often seen as a sensitive topic. When that line gets crossed, the conflict can quickly turn from entertainment into something much deeper. T.I. admitted that seeing that shirt made him tell his son to slow down. He explained he has spent years trying to guide his children to better choices. Watching the situation spiral out of control clearly worried him. Still, he also made it clear that his family would always stand together. While T.I. was speaking about family loyalty, 50 Cent took a very different approach. Instead of responding with diss songs, he continued using social media and business moves. That strategy has always been part of his style. Throughout his career, he has often used humor, trolling, and business power rather than traditional rap battles. Many fans actually expected him to release a diss track in response to the Harris family songs. After all, T.I. released several tracks directly aimed at him. But 50 Cent stayed away from the studio when it came to the beef. Instead, he kept posting memes, jokes, and hints about larger projects. That approach left many people wondering what his real plan might be. Some fans believe he is simply trolling, the same way he has done in many previous feuds. Others believe he is quietly preparing something much bigger behind the scenes. If the documentary actually becomes real, it could change the entire direction of the conflict. Music beefs usually fade away over time. Artists eventually move on, release new songs, and the drama becomes just another story in hip-hop history. But a documentary would create a permanent record that could keep the topic alive for years. That possibility is why many observers believe the Harris family may be trying to calm things down behind the scenes. Even though King Harris has not publicly said he is begging 50 Cent to stop, some insiders believe the family would prefer the situation not escalate further. From their perspective, the risks are obvious. The allegations mentioned in the rumored documentary have existed for years, but they were mostly handled in court and in legal discussions. Bringing them back into the spotlight through a major streaming project could create a completely new wave of public debate. For 50 Cent, however, the situation looks different. His career today is not only about music. He has become a major figure in television and entertainment production. Projects like the popular drama series Power have shown that he understands how to create content that keeps audiences watching. Because of that background, some people believe the documentary threat is part of a larger strategy. Instead of battling with lyrics, he may be choosing a different battlefield entirely. Television and streaming platforms reach a much wider audience than rap fans alone. T.I. seems aware of that possibility. In his responses, he has tried to show confidence rather than fear. He has repeatedly said he is not worried about the documentary idea. In fact, he even joked that if 50 Cent wants to release a documentary, he could respond with one of his own. Still, many industry insiders say the production power behind 50 Cent is difficult to match. Building a full documentary series requires funding, distribution deals, and connections with networks or streaming platforms. That is an area where 50 Cent currently has a strong advantage. While the two sides continue their public standoff, the music world keeps watching closely. Every new interview, every social media post, and every rumor spreads quickly across the internet. Hip-hop fans love competition, but they also know when a conflict starts moving into dangerous territory. For now, the situation remains uncertain. The documentary has not been officially announced by any major platform. No trailer has appeared and no release date has been confirmed. That leaves two possibilities. Either the project is still in early development, or the entire thing was simply another move in 50 Cent's long history of trolling. Until something official happens, the story will likely continue growing online. Fans will keep debating, bloggers will keep posting updates, and both sides will keep watching each other carefully. One thing is clear, though. What started as a simple challenge for a versus battle has turned into one of the most talked about rivalries in hip-hop right now. It pulled in family members, social media drama, diss tracks, and now possibly a documentary. And as the days go by, the biggest question remains the same. Will 50 Cent actually release the documentary, or was the entire threat simply another strategic move in a long game of hip-hop chess?